Okay, so we're going to go over positive and negative intervals, and then along with that, we're going to go over increasing and decreasing intervals. And specifically, they've given us graphs, so we don't have to actually figure it out from our equations yet, but we could do that also. So the first idea is we're going to split the quadrants, or essentially this graph, into positive and negative, and we're going to use the x-axis to do that. Everything, so we're essentially talking about y. Can I get different colors here? Yeah, here we go. Everything above the x-axis, or when the y's are positive, is when the function is positive. And same idea, anything below the x-axis, or when the y's are negative, is a negative interval. So when we do these, though, we specifically are in reference to the x-axis. Okay, so we can even draw little lines if it will be helpful. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Here, get a red one. It looks like this red line where it crosses the x-axis. These two red lines are going to be our points that are going to be our changing, our intervals, right? One of them happens to be at 3, so when x is 3, and the other one happens to be at 7. So these are for positive and negative intervals. Anything to the left of 3 gives us what? Positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive, that's right. Everything left of 3 is up in this range. It's going up. And how about for 7? Which direction do we have to go to be positive?
Right.
Yeah, to the right. Anything to the right of 7 is positive. So, in other words, what those are is we can write this a couple different ways. One of the ways we can write it is when x, okay, it's to the left. So because it's to the left, think of it as the pointing to the left with our less than sign. So when x is less than 3, it'll be positive. Okay, and pointing to the right, when x is greater than 7, it'll be positive. You don't have to write those positives in. Technically, we can write it all in one line where it kind of looks like this. We have x, okay, when x is less than 3, okay. Actually, no, it'll be best if we just kind of write it individually. And this way, we'll make sure we get our intervals right. Because if we do it this way, x is greater than 7, it's all in reference to x. Yeah, it'll be nice this way. The other one will be a lot easier to kind of write as one value itself. So this one, anything to the right of 3 is negative. Anything to the left of 7 is negative. So in this one, they're both referenced to x. We can do the exact same idea. When x, okay, is greater than the value of 3, we have negative values. And when x is less than 7, we have negative values. Okay? And again, we can write two different ones. And they're pretty much the opposite of what we had above for our intervals. And like we were saying before, if I really wanted to put this as one line, the idea is x is greater than both those values. So when x is greater than 7, and when x is greater than the value of 3. Okay, now as it says 3 is less than x and x is greater than 7. Usually, I guess they want to point in the same way, but you can, it technically means that idea. It just gets confusing, so if we write it separate, it'd be a little easier. And same with below, here x is less than 7 and less than 3. So this says 3 is greater than 7 and x is less than 7 is what that means. Okay, so we talked about positive and negative. The next thing we want to talk about is increasing and decreasing. And when we talk about this, we usually will talk about coming from the left, okay, and going right. So it's like we're attaching to this graph. So if I'm coming from the left, I'm attaching to the graph. And what am I doing? Am I increasing or decreasing?
Right now?
Yeah.
You're
coming
decreasing?
from. Yeah, we're decreasing as we follow the graph. And then at a point, what point is this called on a quadratic?
-6?
Yeah, but what is this part of the quadratic called?
Oh, the vertex.
Yeah, at the vertex, what starts happening? Are we still decreasing?
You're increasing.
Yeah, and it goes that way forever, right? So no matter how far left we go, we technically be coming down, and then we eventually hit a point and start coming up. This is the point where we kind of cross, and we'll use a blue line. It's the vertex. The vertex is when we change from our increasing and decreasing. So to start, okay, we got blue. Thank you. It's decreasing. So we're decreasing or going in a negative direction when x is what? What's the x value here?
-5. I mean, just 5.
Just 5, right? Yeah. So in what side of 5 are we decreasing?
The left.
The left. So when x is what?
X is greater than 5.
Well, it would be technically to this side of 5. So this says when x is less than 5, right? When it's the values of 4, 3, 2, 1, negative, those are all less than 5, right? So it's a decreasing. And what about increasing? What side of 5 are we increasing?
The right side.
Yeah, we're going back up. So we're increasing on the right side of 5. So we'd say it's increasing. I should be writing there. When x is, because it's to the right, greater than, we're pointing that way, 5. Right? And I should write technically here. This is our decreasing interval. So those are our two intervals. So we always refer to the vertex when we talk about increasing or decreasing
Okay.
points.